Hey Vekinumers, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a rundown here about escaping corporate hell. So there's a lot to it, a lot to escaping corporate hell, but I'm gonna keep going over that. I'm gonna try to give you my best thoughts on that, and hopefully you can understand my perspective. So, living in the modern Western world can be great. You have plenty of money. However, if that is not the case, as the majority of us, you want to find a way to obtain more dough. One of the ways I found this to be popularized as a true possibility is online video sharing. To specify, it would strongly relate to YouTube. YouTube has become so large in size, and with Google over its shoulder, it likely isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Because of this, it comes off as a concrete option for those who want to take a step out of the corporation hell that many are stuck dealing with. Of course, this does not mean it is a viable route, but it has become impossible for many. It's important to keep a realist perspective, to avoid being let down or not seeing changes in your life. There's also an art behind the creationism in media. Creating YouTube videos is an art, and the art has ranges. Clearly, there are issues for many Westerners who want to have a pretty simple and concise life. Most people want things, they like things, they do things. Most are not extreme hedonists or obsessed with materialism. They enjoy things in limited amounts. Surely, that isn't much to ask, but the issues roll in when it is extraordinarily difficult for that very simple lifestyle to be viable, when things like the minimum wage are not reasonable, or housing is unreasonable, or the price of necessities. The lives of many are not going to meet their minimum wage job, and working 40 hours a week to have very little, not because they aren't working hard enough, but because they weren't dealt the right deck of cards. With this, many seek out other ways to approach financial stability, or in many young cases, seek it out before reaching the point of the line above slavery. Their attempts could be NFTs, hoping they'll get big one day, and that they'll be lucky like many of the rich today and past generations. That same luck can be present with scratch-offs, cryptocurrencies, and other gambling, stocks, and other forms of luck-based trade. These examples all have one thing in common, which is luck. The hope they will be the one, no matter if that really has a chance of happening. Some may take another route, selling themselves physically or virtually online. Sex always sells, as seen in history. But the reality of the situation is, these mostly aren't viable to the majority of people who are in need of that extra freedom. In which I wish to speak of escaping corporation hell will likely mean using a service that can enable the individual to work for themselves. On something like YouTube or other social medias, many people see influencers able to showcase mundane daily tasks and reach millions of views. Or they may find that creative mind orchestrating a string of ideas that are relatable enough for you to comprehend, but just out of reach for you to keep watching to fully understand. There are many such cases, but no matter which one, the end goal is clear: to make money. There is no shame, just as there is no shame in creating a movie or television show. Yes, the clear idea is to make a profit of sorts. However, it also takes a creative mind to create such a media, or many. This leads into the main subject: creating videos on YouTube in hopes of escaping the corporate hell of working decreased or be completely eliminated. Ironically, it is owned by a corporation, Google, but at least in this sense, there is more availability and opportunity for a stronger and healthier life. I mean this in a way that one could plan their own schedule, decide how much they need to work, and have the dream of being your own boss. This boss thing has been seen in those fake advertisements trying to make you join a pyramid scheme, but YouTube offers an ostensible way of succeeding. This means the person could do what they want, assuming it is popular enough, and actually be, quote, happy. Simply a dream of all that don't already have this ability, or even not chasing what they think will make them happy, but rather a life they focus on the things they really do care about. It's not easy to just switch over. In fact, it will likely be a long entire process where one may feel hopeless at some points. If the growth expected is not reaching a point where money can be made, or perhaps only a small amount, hope could be lost. With this, time is not free. That time making media content online is either going to be all the free time you have after work or on your days off, which likely require the attention of other tasks. An alternative would be to work part-time, but this makes the risk all the greater. Assuming you don't make it, You can also be losing things that full-time jobs cover you with, like benefits and retirement. Not only that, working part-time is not enough money to survive in most parts of the United States, assuming it is something of a minimum wage job or near it. So one would have to save up for a while before considering cutting out that much time to attempt this career path. Assuming you've hit these prerequisites, you still need a schedule. Workplaces tend to provide 2 weeks out of scheduling with some changes if necessary. You know exactly when you are working and for how long. This definitiveness affirms confidence within most people, and once they're there, they can handle that shift. With online media creation, it differs as the scheduling is in the hands of the creator. Anecdotally, I know many who struggle with personally motivating themselves to do much of anything and require an external force to push them to act. So if one is unable to do this on their own, it could be a downfall in future creation and success. Even if one is able to discipline themselves into working 9 to 5 virtually with their own schedule, that time has to be used effectively to produce something. Media creation online is a creative process, something that has to be created that is interesting for those already interested, intriguing for those who are new, and a basic appeal for the masses. Being able to hit all of these criteria whilst working with your own personal time frame is easier said than done, and could require large amounts of effort in order to succeed in mastering the process. While being creative is an important necessity, While being creative is an important necessity, striking an equilibrium between creative and professional is something to strive for. Sure, in the beginning, one may not be all that focused on the business side, but in time, for growth, it will have to be acknowledged. This does not mean the creator becomes dull or empty, but rather will have to reach certain demands of the social media. The genesis of creation can start with a small topic that appeals to a small number of viewers, but if one actually wants to make this their career, they'll have to generalize while also keeping their content captivating for previous viewers who came for the niche content. Striking a balance between these two can be arduous, but not insurmountable. With this further businessing, one has to now figure out how to maximize clicks for their videos without pushing the boundaries of clickbait, as to push away further instead of bring them in. Creating thumbnails that captivate but don't come off as propaganda. Not only do thumbnails matter, but titles, descriptions, and sharing the information are critical to widespread awareness. Titling the video with something that not only relates to the content in the video, but will also make someone click is a balance that is needed for further viewership. Describing the content with information that is related to the video, links to other social media, and selecting keywords to appeal to search engines. Keeping your information accurate yet broad enough to pop up in searches. I personally tested this by creating 2 videos with the title Mr. Beast, and it clearly increased the amount of viewership and a few more subscribers, all because of a title change and loosely connected content. Under the presumption you've created a channel with a significant amount of backing, are making some money, brands and companies are going to reach out, or they may reach out in order to figure out sort of deal that benefits both parties. It will likely mean you will talk about a product for a period of time, be sure to make sure the viewer is aware of the sponsorship, and likely read off a script that has been provided. A link in the description or on the video will appear, and that will be the extent of the sponsorship. Depending on the size of the channel, different brands of different sizes may reach out to figure out different deals. Some viewers dislike this, thinking the creator is being selfish and greedy, but they lack the nuanced understanding that someone is doing this for their livelihood. Not only this, being purely online, the creator has to watch what they say as not to upset that sponsor in the entirety of the video and on other social medias, because you wouldn't want to scare away more possible collaborators. Even beyond all the hard work, determination, and time expended, doing the same thing like clockwork can only last for so long. Burnout is frequent among creators, and changing up creative processes or the content itself can help separate the burnout from the creator. Adjacent to this, the mental health of the artist is necessary too. Not seeing the results wanted, maybe fear of not being able to pay for rent or something similar. Worries and stress are part of normal life, so they are also applicable here. It becomes elevated because the media is expected to become better, improved, and viewers will criticize and make aware what they think should be changed. This isn't always polite, which can hurt the morale of the creator and may make them question the continuance of their work. Being able to manage their stress and mental health will be a task of its own, and mastery will take a lifetime. An appeal to viewers. What ages are acceptable? Looking upon the front page on YouTube, you are unlikely to find an age that aligns with 40 plus, maybe at the latest mid-30s, but this showcases what ages most young viewers would like to look up to. Many big names like the Paul brothers and other similar influencers are ostensibly young, and so younger viewers can be attached and almost can wish to relate. These people can become role models for a less developed crowd. With this increased attachment, buying merchandise is frequent and their names are spread among schools. The key takeaway is that being under the age of 40 will put yourself in a position where you aren't viewed similarly to a parent. However, this does not mean you cannot be older. Older ages are generally correlated with wisdom. The spreading of knowledge could be a great appeal for those who are older. And showing your face in content is not a necessity. It's just important to note that there may be more ease with starting out younger. Along with starting out younger, as you personally age, your viewers may age too. They may stick around as you both grow and develop, which is important to note because it showcases a relationship that has only recently been acknowledged. Parasocial relationships. The viewer feels connected to the creator, but that person has no idea the viewers exist on a personal level besides a comment or minimal interaction. This will lead to the belief that there exists a strong personal relationship between the two parties when it's really just one-sided. This plays into the age range of your crowd, whether their awareness of this or not. If not, it could come off as comfortable or weird, but if the viewers are more mature, it could become a comfortable space to still be able to communicate with. Escaping this hell is working a corporate job is a task that many wish to achieve. Although not insurmountable, its difficulties are frequent and may push many away from the possibility of a great future. Consider it on a personal level, whether or not media creation is meant for you, or perhaps something else you could do to escape. There's just one avenue, and there are plenty of other roads for you to explore. For some, the creative process or burnout becomes too much, or they lose their niche too quickly, or a multitude of other variables causing them to fail. Stay aware, don't fall for grifters, and stay sharp like a knife.